Which is cool as fuck.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. He's conjuring spirits. Exactly.
Why do we always gotta deal with it? I'm not gonna join.
Ladies
Great movie.
and gentlemen, phenomenal film, phenomenal reference. Wolf of Wall Street. What a film, ladies and gentlemen. How ecstatic am I to be here today on this beautiful Sunday at Midnight in Miami Studios. Thoroughly ecstatic. That's how. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right hand side, there is a man, and there is a man with Hawaiian shirts on. You know what I'm talking about? You finally see him back. You know, sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. Sometimes he's on the run, man. Sometimes he's in a damn courtroom talking about voter fraud. You don't know where he's at. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, we have Emmy in the his house.
It's good.
What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. Behind the scenes, there's a man that, let's say you got a date night, he's gonna get you right every single time. You know what I'm talking about. There is a barber, the Sweeney Todd of Doral, if you will. You know what I'm talking about. You see him right there with the hoodie and the majestic haircut that he has himself. Beautiful. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes, we got Diego Miami Barber. What's going on?
Good, bro.
There you go. You got a mic for a damn reason, bro. You know what I'm talking
The
about.
homeless bad bunny is what you look at.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a new tattoo right there. And ladies and gentlemen, to my left hand side, for the first time showing up on, you know, beautiful Midnight in Miami Studios, we are also very happy, so very ecstatic, so very honored to introduce the next guest that is joining us today. You know, every single episode we have a new story, a new variety of challenges that a person has encountered in order to be able to be successful in La Sawecera. You know what I'm talking about. And that person is no other than two-time Muay Thai champ. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Nick Plessett in the set today.
Happy to be here, brother. Thank you guys for having me. Yes,
Don't leave me hanging over here, brother.
Appreciate you.
Everything good? Everything good?
Everything great, man. Happy to be here in this really awesome studio, by the way, man. This shit is fucking nice. I'm gonna tell you that.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, brother. I've known Nick for a while now, as how he was talking about, what was it, Fight Club? What was it?
Yeah, we had Team Fight Club.
Team Fight Club, you know, until we had a damn pandemic and Scrooge.
Oh, the infamous Fight Club.
The infamous
Fight Club. That's a good way to put it.
And then Scrooge Donald was like, you know what? Let me get this damn money and let me close the doors and still charge everybody. You know, and that's big shout out to Sandro for that.
That's Doral for you.
That's Doral.
That is Doral for you right there.
Big shouts to Sandro for that. You know what I'm saying? Mad chargebacks on the bank account. What's going on, Nick? Nick is actually a multifaceted man, in case you were not aware. This man has many talents, one of which is how he whoops ass.
Yes, that's true. I do like to whoop that ass.
There you go. There you go. Big shouts to Wolfpack. You know, he's showing it. You know,
shout out Wolfpack Boxing. Shout out my head coach Jake Poss, the whole team over there. So gotta get that in right now.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
most definitely.
There you go.
And also all my other guys, my old coach, and still one of my coaches. You know, the Colombian warrior, Danny Chavez.
Colombian warrior,
Chavez.
baby. UFC fighter, Danny
shit.
Chavez.
He's cornered me for my last, 3 or 4 fights. So
got it.
I
That's
can't do. I
awesome.
wouldn't have been able to have win the belts that I have without Danny. So shout out Danny Chavez and
Big shout out
all my
Danny.
training partners, all you guys that help me all the time. So
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
If there's one thing I noticed from Nick from day one, because correct me if I'm wrong, you were teaching at the other Fight Club location beforehand, or or another location, and then you came into the Doral location, correct? Or
sort of,
where were you
yeah,
teaching?
kind of. I was teaching at. I've been teaching around Miami for a while. I currently still teach at Sobe Kick Gym, which is in South Beach. It's a pretty famous gym. It's been there for a while. A lot of the models, the South Beach models, go there and shit.
We're gonna have to take a tour over there.
Yeah, a lot of people like that gym for obvious reasons.
Good workout.
I
ethic.
currently
Good
work at a
ethic.
couple other gyms, Tap Out Fitness. I work at Thump Gym. And yeah, so I started at Fight Club downtown, just doing like 1 class a week type of thing. And then they needed someone at Doral, and I threw myself over there, and I kind of stayed at Doral because it was closer for me. I liked it a lot better. And just the scheduling was better. The people were better. Not like there's anything wrong with the downtown
Right.
people, but it was more like a family atmosphere at the Doral location. So I was great with that.
What I've noticed from Nick from day one is that just the personality and how far it goes. You know, I remember, there was already kind of like an established, I guess, quote unquote family with Danny and, all these people. And from day one, Nick was just like, hey, what's going on? Like, he was so open, so willing to either spar to show that he's not a scrub, or,
Had to,
you had to.
Got to prove yourself somehow.
Got
you
to.
know?
Yeah.
Or, he's the first one to, help someone with tips or whatever the case. Where did this, I guess, outgoing personality come from, and how did it, I guess, convert into success in the personal training realm?
Well, I mean, I've always been really, really outgoing. That's just part of my personality, man. Honestly, I talk way too fucking much. I got a lot of excess energy. I was always the guy in class that the teacher was like, hey, stop talking,
Diego.
get out of class, or go
Hell
face
yeah.
the wall.
I feel that.
But
Heavy.
always in good nature. It's not like I was like, trying to interrupt. I just had something to say, I wanted to share like my opinion. So, hey, I know you're talking, but can I just talk over you really fast?
Yeah.
Apparently you can't do that. So, but yeah, that outgoingness is just part of my personality. I studied hospitality also. So when you're, working in a hotel and a restaurant, you got to kiss someone's ass. You got to be super personable, like whatever they say.
Pull
blah,
out
blah,
that
blah.
extra Caucasian.
Yeah, you got to have exactly. Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Shout out to all the Karens out there.
Yeah. So, it's just, again, that's just part of my personality. Definitely helped going to school, obviously, getting my degree, and then working, even though, I only spent about 2 years in that career field as a food and beverage manager. I was working for Marriott. Even though I didn't personally like it because of the corporate structure, it still helped me just like in my development and my character and overall just like being able to talk to people. You know what I mean? When you're working in a hotel, man, you got so many different people coming in there. You got businessmen, you got, bachelorette parties, you got people that don't speak English, people that don't speak Spanish. You just gotta make do.
Right.
So, that's really helped me out a lot. So, and then, being in fitness when you're, teaching someone how to throw a jab or throw a cross or whatever, you can't be shy about it. You can't be like, all right, man, step and do this. You got to really be like, man, you got to take your step, and you got to really, really, really be on, on your shit and communicate properly. So
you don't regret, getting a degree that you didn't fully use, quote unquote, when you, dived into another.
Definitely don't regret it, man. It's I recommend to anyone, school I think is extremely important. Even if it's just an AA, even if it's just a GED, just any type of education, just to help you out. You know what I mean? Military education, whatever it is. You know, you got to expand your knowledge. You know, and you always got to continue to learn too. That's what people. I feel like that's the most common mistake with most people is they think that they know everything or they can stop learning. You know, and it's a never-ending learning process.
What was the catalyst that made you say, "Hey, you know what? Today's my last day in the hotel. I'm gonna go kick some ass."
Oh, man, that's that's a good question right there. I'm remembering my last day at the Marriott at Biscayne Bay, and I had this manager that I was just kind of always getting into shit with. She really just hated me. She was a cunt to say the least.
A conta.
And yeah, so she was just kind of always giving me shit. Everyone else I got along with like super well. Like all my coworkers, like when they would ask, like, Nick, are you closing today, or is it whatever? I forgot the other.
Ursula.
Yeah, Ursula. I'm closing today. Oh, thank God, man. Like they know. Not that I was like slack on them or anything, but like you know,
Just
like
It was just
I
extra
could've
annoying.
asked.
yeah, I help.
Yeah.
I help out, and I'm just like not like the type of guy. Yeah, I'll tell you what to do and make sure you do your shit right, but I'm not a dick about it either. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, some people, when they get into that position of authority, you know, they like it. They like to be all of, you know, so.
It gets to them.
But yeah, I mean, it was one day, I think I'd already put my 2-week notice in.
Okay.
And it'd probably been like 2 days past me putting my 2 weeks notice in. And someone just caught me on the wrong day and gave someone said something to me. She said something to me. I already had a job lined up, and I literally just fucking picked up my bank because you have like a bank to like exchange like with the servers and shit. I picked up my bank. I went to the account manager guy and I was like, "Here's my shit. I quit."
Hell yeah! How'd they react?
It's funny because my direct manager, like the food and beverage manager, came up to me. He's like, "You're quitting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, I can't take this shit anymore, man. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know I put my 2 weeks notice in. I wanted to do 2 more weeks, but good luck. You know, I'm out of here. Deuces.
See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck this year.
It was one of the best decisions I've actually ever made in my life, honestly.
Why do you say so?
Well, it's led me to where I am right now, next to you, Juan.
That's beautiful. That's Nick, baby. That's a beautiful man right there. Did you immediately go from the hotel into Muay Thai or?
I was training. I'd always been training. I started training when I was about 15 years old. I took my first kickboxing class, Waring's World Champion Kickboxing. That's James.
Shout out.
That's James Waring. Most of you guys don't know him. Played in the NFL, also a world champion kickboxer.
Well, I got that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so, but I was never really too consistent with it. And then started doing jiu-jitsu. Shout out Zen Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out Enrico Coco. That was my head coach over there. All my boys over there. They helped me, you know, develop my jiu-jitsu game, got my blue belt. And, but still, like, I always, like, had other shit. I was in school. I was working, girlfriends, blah, blah, blah. So I was, like, training, but never, like, oh, I'm going to be a fighter. It was just kind of like,
very recreational. What we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. And then, so the job that I had that I had set up when I quit the Marriott was kind of a really, let's call it a unique job, as in I was going to be an associate producer for a documentary film, which I was
shit.
like, damn, that's cool as fuck,
Hell
man.
yeah,
Like,
bro.
are you kidding me? Like,
Bro,
it was one of my fraternity brothers from, I started at Arizona State. I graduated from Johnson Wales.
Oh
but,
shit.
yeah.
ASU boy.
hence why I didn't finish there. But yeah, I did join a fraternity.
All
I did join a fraternity when I was out there. I was a teak. Fraternity life is whatever, you know.
What was your experience
It's
like?
not like I wouldn't recommend it. It's some people really delve into it and love it. I started it, and once I started it, I'm the guy who's like, if I start something, I'm not gonna quit.
Okay,
And they were tough on us. I mean, I'll say it now. I don't give a shit. Like, we got hazed.
Respect,
we
bro.
we got hazed hard. And
You're just watching the news.
that's why I wasn't gonna quit, you know, because I was like, you know what, I'm tough enough to tough this shit out. Besides that, a bunch of my boys from my dorm floor, we're all pledging together.
Hell yeah.
So it was like a brotherhood shit that I wasn't gonna quit. So one of my fraternity brothers, he had offered me this job. He's like, hey, you know, like, I work for this director. Director's name, by the way, is Sean Dunn. You can look him up. He won the Tribeca Film Festival.
Oh, fuck.
Best new documentary film, I think in 2000, I want to say two, you know what, don't quote me, but I want to say like 2015 or 2016.
That's hella impressive.
I do know the film. The film is called Oxiana. So I obviously had to do my research before I'm gonna accept a position for like, some film or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing type of shit. But so I looked up the director. I watched the film. It was a very powerful film. It was about this small town in some buttfuck state up north or some shit. But basically they have like this huge crazy pandemic with prescription drugs, specifically oxycodone. I think.
Yeah, oxycodone.
Oxycodone, where like there's like thousands of people that have died from it, and they're prescribing it up the ass, and then whatever the fuck. So it was some deep shit. I saw it. I was like, man, this guy's very. And first off, let me say I'm a huge film guy. Film buff, classic films, new films. I just love that shit. I'll watch movies over and over and over again.
That's gonna come in handy for one of our segments.
I mean,
today.
there's some movies I've seen. I promise you, there's some movies I've seen probably 100 times at least.
Hell yeah.
And I'll still watch them. Straight up.
Yeah. Lizzie McGuire movie, shit like that.
Yeah.
Timeless classics, you know?
No, I'll name a couple. Like, have you guys ever seen Fargo?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I've
Ben
seen.
Affleck.
I've seen.
No, that's Argo.
That's Argo.
Oh, you're right.
Argo. Yeah, I made
I
that
get those
mistake
two
last
fucking
week.
confused. Fuck.
Pulp Fiction,
That Gimp scene,
That's a
Full
great
Metal
film.
Jacket.
Yes.
Stanley Kubrick is one of my favorite directors. Spielberg, James Cameron. But yeah, so the film this new documentary they were gonna do. Now, don't all laugh at once. Well, I guess I did it first. The film was called Cam Girls.
Are you serious?
Yeah, with a Z.
I'm sold.
He's like, is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
find it on the hub?
Cam Girls with a Z. And so I was still working at the Merit at the time. My buddy came down. My fraternity brother came down. He was at the Fountain Blue Hotel. He was staying over there. He invited me. He's like, yo, come. Let's kick it. Da-da-da. Everything on me. Don't worry. I got your valet. Let's go to the club. I'm going to pay for this. This guy's
Shout out to Liv.
Yeah, because everybody know, hey, parking is expensive.
This guy's giving people hundreds, blah, 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 this and that. And he's telling me about what he does. And then he shows me this preview to this film. And I'm like, damn, man, that shit looks pretty dope. And yes, it sounds like a porno, but it's not. So what the documentary film is about the lives not the lives and also the viewers of the people that do live camming.
Documentary style?
This is pre fans only Instagram, by the way. So
okay.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
Snapchat Premium wasn't a thing yet.
exactly. Yeah, it's really interesting. At least I thought it was really interesting how some of these ladies, like there was one chick, she was, I mean, to me, like not very attractive, but
canceled.
She had a husband and a kid, and she was a cam girl, and she was able to quit her job and make a living off of that and take care of her kids off of it. There were other girls that were like the supermodel ones that are making like $100,000 a month type shit.
What the?
Yeah, they're making fucking bank.
holy
$100K a month?
Yeah, but now they're making even more bank.
And then the even more interesting part is part of the film was interviewing the guys and girls that were watching it, and they were talking about how much it helps.
That's interesting.
How much it helps them. How they feel like this is like their therapy. You know what I mean? That this person is like, yo, like, and it not borderline. Sometimes it gets kind of scary because some of the cam girls get like. The person becomes kind of like can become obsessed
with being a cam girl.
No, with the girl.
No,
like a stalker.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I want to marry you. Let's meet. And
because they think that they're part of their life.
Exactly. And so
I'm interested to know the dynamic between them and their like boyfriend/girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, it's you would think that like a husband or a boyfriend would be like really like pissed or upset about his girl doing camming.
Some of them are getting damn PS5s.
Yeah, but if your wife or girlfriend is pulling in, $50 to $100K a month and is able to support your kids and fucking give you shit, and she's not cheating, but she's just getting naked for guys to watch.
Would you be cool with it, Nick?
Would I be cool with it? No, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be. I would
I'm
not.
glad
be
you
cool.
I
said
can tell
that,
Emmy's like,
because I've been
no.
stressing over here like
He's right.
about my own fucking PS5. Thank you.
I'll be honest with it. I would not be cool with it personally. Not with my girlfriend now, Natalie. I love you, by the way.
Shout out Natalie.
But yeah, like if it was like some slut I was dating in the past.
Correct. Yeah, but that's exactly.
Whatever.
How serious is it? It's a salute. It's a salute.
Yeah,
okay,
so-
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
Well,
I'd be
Diego,
okay.
for
I'd
me-
be okay with that.
Diego's a
feels too
cuck.
cu-
Everybody knows
It
this,
just
yo.
feels too cucky for me.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, because you guys are doofuses. She shows me for free. You get me?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
that's-
But
exactly.
Diego, you dated a stripper, bro.
yeah, but
Shout out strippers.
Shout out strippers.
hey, well, we're sorry about that pandemic, by the way.
Yeah.
We know y'all
my
got hit
God.
hard. By the
R.I.P.,
way.
bro. Fuck.
Thank God for fans only.
For real, yo.
Damn, putting my business out there, bro.
Nah,
man.
and Texas, bro. Texas had drive-through strip clubs, bro.
Yeah, I know
Which
this.
is
I'll
wild.
cut it out.
I
No,
know.
you're good.
I don't think 11 is open, but I know that Scarlett's is open. I heard that someone went.
Well, Scarlett's is the reason they took the curfew off.
oh, really?
Because
Oh,
of
shit, you're
course-
right.
And shout out Diego. Diego's the one that informed me of
Yeah, yeah.
local news.
Well,
Yeah.
I heard. So what I heard is like you have to wear a mask, but the strippers don't. That's
Which
what I
defeats
heard.
the purpose.
What do you have to
Also-
smell? That's
also,
awesome.
is the
Because you know
champ-
what? I'm not gonna get a cold now. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I've ever gone to a strip club, I walk out and I've got like me pica la garganta.
Also-
For like 2-3 days after, I'm like,
Also,
There's no
I need to
smoking
know the
in there
champagne room is open
anymore.
or not, because
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah, of course it is.
complete difference.
Of course
if they're
it
not
is.
wearing masks and the champagne room is open,
no, they're both wearing masks. And they're 6 feet apart, right?
Shouts
right.
out Scarlett.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Scarlett.
shout out Scarlett's. I've had a lot of good
wild,
times
dude.
there.
That's
actually.
a crazy. That's a crazy perspective to have in a documentary, dude. That's,
So-
because usually I've seen a couple on like HBO has something like that, but they only follow the artist, I guess, the person putting on the show, right? They never really interview one of the people that is paying for the service. right?
Exactly. And this did it went from the low level chick, the chick who's like barely making any money,
Right.
the kind of like mid level chick, the super famous hot ones, and then the guys also.
Right.
So it really dove into each aspect of that industry, which I thought was
That's very cool.
which was really interesting, obviously. I was getting paid pretty well doing it. So what I was doing, I don't know if you guys know, so when you're a lot of people don't know what producers or associate producers do. What you do is you raise money for the film. You get people to invest in the film. And they're going to own a percentage depending on how much money they put in. And then when the film gets released, it will get
It's
an
your
investment.
return.
it's your return. It might get picked up by Netflix. It might get sold to a different production company. Whatever happens, that's how it works. Whatever.
Right.
So, I did that for about. Man, that was such a good job. I basically would just kind of like get fucked up every day, and I had an assistant, which was cool.
The American dream, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I had an assistant. She was awesome, Mariana. She became actually we're still really good friends. I just saw her in North Carolina.
imagine having an assistant. Bro.
Yeah, she loved it because she got paid. I think I was getting paid I think it was like $2,500 a month or something. But I didn't have that many expenses at the time, so it was like good money.
Oh, yeah.
And I was staying at my mom's, so I wasn't paying rent. So I was like, whoop whoop.
Oh, yeah, that's still
Hell
money.
yeah. So you're drinking it.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's kind of like we were talking about Wolf of Wall Street. That was like my training. I'd like watch the Wolf of Wall Street. And, all right, now I know how to close this bitch. Like,
Hell yeah.
So
you don't hang up
Yeah,
that phone
yeah.
until they buy or motherfucking die.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Dude, I used to listen to all those speeches in my car right outside of a client's house. Like, let's go, dude. I'll sell you this fucking life insurance. Let's go.
Yeah. So
I was a telephone terrorist for sure. Shout out the jihadi with a body. Let's do this.
But yeah, not what I didn't know, but what I guess he didn't exactly tell me is that when you do this, it's kind of per film. So once they finish making the film,
Like a gypsy. You're
Yeah,
right. It's
yeah,
like an
once they
actor,
finish
dude.
making the film, they're like, they go into editing and shit, and they're like, okay, like we don't need
You're
you as a
done.
producer anymore. Like,
So it's
bye-bye,
really like
no
Yeah,
more.
you're-
it's kind of like freelancing.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah,
or whatever.
right.
So, but it was cool. I had an assistant. She was getting paid $1,000 a month to fucking do nothing, basically, to come hang out with me. And when help me set up meetings and send emails. And I remember I gave her first paycheck, and she opened it, and her eyes like like lit up.
And you're like, oh, just kidding. We're actually cutting that in half. We gave her too much, guys.
Yeah.
We gave her too much.
She told me, she was like, I'd never had that amount of money. It was $1,000. She never had that amount of money in her life before.
Hell yeah.
So it was cool. Yeah, it
I'm
was.
thinking some fucked up thing.
No, it wasn't anything like that, bro. Don't let your imagination run wild. She's I kept it very professional with her, obviously. Just when I was trying to find investors, this Wolf of Wall Street had just come out. So like, and obviously that's a great movie.
Fantastic.
It's all about selling and closing and blah, blah, blah. So, when I would pitch it to someone, I wanted to close them, so I would think, hey, not that I have to be fucking zonked out of my mind, but, I'm a little bit looser after I've had,
a few drinks,
a couple whiskeys, or a lot of times we would have the meeting at a bar. You know what I mean?
I've heard that a lot.
So
like a business dinner sort of thing.
Listen, you're asking a rich person to invest money in a independent documentary film about girls that are getting naked on camera. You know what I mean?
God,
you're not dressing up in a suit and tie and meeting up at a conference room and having coffee about it. You know what I mean? You got
more casual.
You got to kind of like match what you're doing.
So do they have like a level of scumbagginess to them that you have to match?
No, not really. I never tried to be a scumbag at all. I just tried to convince whoever was investing that it would be worth it. As in A, you're going to make some money off it, even if it's not a lot of money, or B, you're going to get your money back. And you're going to be able to be part of this experience. You're going to help someone get a film, and hey, man, your name's going to be there as a producer.
And that's the ego right there.
Yeah. Some people like that. Oh shit,
you made a movie, bro.
My name's going to be there. Like shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember after I saw it. You guys should watch it after. By the way, that's Cam Girls with a Z. Just Google it. You should be able to find it.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you watch the credits.
Bro, you can see the poster on the screen right now.
Look for that associate producer credit.
Hey.
But
gang shit.
But yeah,
My boy's on IMDb, right?
Yeah, I am on IMDb. I'm serious.
I don't doubt it.
Search me, bro. That's the other thing when people like talk about movies. I'm like, bitch, I'm on IMDb.
Gang,
and a lot of people don't believe me, and I take out my phone. I'm like, bitch, in your face.
So am I, bro. Hey, I got a credit for Step Up Revolutions. You think I'm lying? It's there.
So then when he was basically like, yo, man, like, there's no more, like, we're not paying you anymore type of shit. I was like, oh, like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I needed to do something. And I'd always like, obviously loved martial arts, boxing, kickboxing. And I started to hold pads for people, like my friends, for fun, and we would like train each other, blah, blah, blah.
Were you sparring or no?
Yeah, I was sparring. Yeah, I was
It's
still
just
training.
more like slugging it at that point.
No, I had technique at this point. Yeah, I had technique. I had been training under some really good, I told you again, Zen Jiu-Jitsu, South Miami Sports Performance.
Coco.
Yeah, so I had decent technique, enough that I could hold pads for someone and like teach them basics.
Okay.
And then I started working at a gym like part-time, a nine round fitness. You guys probably seen it. It's like a small corporate gym, whatever. Okay. You don't need any certification. You just need to pass their own thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was kind of a bullshit job because I was getting paid like $8.50 an hour. But I met my boy Elvin, the prodigy Espinoza there. You should get him on this show. I'm sure you heard of him. Shout out Elvin. What up, big dog? And when we started chilling, the first thing he did, I found out that he was, into MMA. We knew a lot of the same people, blah, blah. So he's like, yo, let's grapple. So we grappled right there at 9 round. He choked me out twice. Thanks, Elvin. And it kind of like lit a fire under my ass. I was like, damn, like, I got to get back into jiu-jitsu, like seriously. And I got to get like, let me do this. So I started to train, went back to Zen, started training, lots of jiu-jitsu, doing striking also. And it was probably like 2 or 3 months after that Elvin was like, yo, I talked to this guy, James. We can get fights. Like I can get us both on this card for combat night. And I was just like, fuck it. Let's do it. Like, it's like now or never, you know what I mean? I'm training already. Like,
hell yeah.
So like, let's do it. So, yeah. And then
Were you nervous or no?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, I think everyone gets nervous before a fight. If they
Especially
don't,
their first.
Yeah, if they don't, they're either fucking crazy or just whatever, really brave. But you know, so let me just go back to that. From working from 9 round, then I started working at Sobe Kick, and that was more of a premier gym. There, I was getting paid $45 per class.
Golly.
So I was like, shit, this is dope. And I had like teaching models and shit. Like I was like, whoa, like I'm like legit. And then I was like, all right, I got to become extra legit, and I got to get my personal training certification. So I did the NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, paid for the course.
What does it consist of?
It's a hard test actually. It's all about muscular anatomy. So you got to know.
So written?
Yeah, it's written, but like yeah, you take
bubbling?
it. Yeah, like you take it like you would take the ASVAB or like the real estate exam.
Scantron?
No, you go into
computer.
you sit at a computer and like put like
Shout out Scantron.
Yeah, exactly.
A dying industry, but we're there.
Exactly. half you don't even know what we're talking about.
FCAT, what does that mean?
Yeah. But yeah. So after I got my personal training certification.
No, there's no more FCAT. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. What the fuck's with that?
Right. But you got the personal.
I got the
certification?
personal training certification. I started to fight. And that was the other thing. I was like, you know, once I fight, I'm like, no one can say I'm not legit. Like I would have put myself out there. Like, you know what I mean? And my goal was really
just doing the shit. You know?
My goal was really to just not to do it once, but like. Obviously, you want to win, but like it was definitely to win an MMA fight or to win a Muay Thai fight or to just win like a fight, compete, you know what I mean, and win.
Were you trying to prove it to anybody or just to yourself?
No, I was definitely trying to prove it to myself. I didn't give a shit what anyone else thought.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's always people judging you and stuff, but you know, I could care less about that. This was something that was really, really important to me, and something that I've been working really hard for, obviously, and.
How'd your parents first react when you know?
Oh, my mom hated it when I told my mom the first time that I was gonna fight MMA, and she was like, didn't even know what it was. I told her like the fighting like in the cage, and she was like, "Estás loco?"
Una jaula.
Yeah, like my dad was like, "Are you nuts? What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, you know, it's something that excites me. Like, you know, I want to try it out." So actually, I lost my first MMA fight. Who did I fight that time? I fight this guy, Chris Bite. He was, I think like 3-1. I fought a tough guy for my first fight. I wasn't like a debuter against a debuter. I fought a guy who was coming from Michigan, where the rules were different, where they had full ground and pound. Like I remember watching one of his highlight videos, and he's like mounting the guy, like beating the shit out of him. Gets up, he's got like blood all over him.
And you're like, wait. I'm fighting who?
Yeah. I'm like, this is the guy I'm fighting. I'm like, just like, but you know what? I'm like, I'm not a pussy. I'm like, yeah, you know, I signed up to fight. Like, let's fight. You know what I mean?
In retrospect, what do you credit the loss to?
You know, I started the fight really well, actually. And I feel like if I had gone for the guillotine at first, I think I actually would have finished him. I feel like I won the first. So the kid was a wrestler. He was like a collegiate wrestler, strong wrestler. He slammed me on my shit the first round, hard as hell.
Shout out Rose.
Yeah. But on the feet, I was getting the better of him. I felt really comfortable in there for my first MMA fight. I was even moving my hands around like I'm Anderson Silva and shit.
Hey!
I threw a spinning back heel kick that just missed. I was all over the place, bro. So the first round went pretty well, but then in the second round, he got me up against the cage. He took me down, and I was trying to stick to my training of like, you know, if anyone who knows jiu-jitsu, when someone's like kind of like on your back, you want to kind of like get tall and have them like kind of fall over you type of thing. But he was able to pull me back, sink in the rear naked choke. And, you know, I was about to pass out and I tapped. No regrets at all. It wasn't that I wasn't prepared. It was just that he was better than me that day. Right. If we went out of this day, I'm confident I would whoop his ass.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
But I don't think the funny is that I don't think he ever fought again after that. Actually, yeah. So it's really weird how the amateur scene works. So that was my first amateur MMA fight. Then I went to my first amateur Muay Thai fight, and I went up to like Fort Lauderdale, and I fought in like a country bar or something. They usually have like the horse or what is the bull in the middle, but they took it out and they had the ring.
That's Florida.
I fought some white boy who was 1-0. A good ass fight. I was asking my corner after every round if I was winning, which I believe that I was. And in the end, I didn't get the decision. So I actually started my career off with 2 losses, loss in MMA and loss in Muay Thai. And most guys, I feel like would it be, I mean, it's pretty crushing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Let me tell you, like, I'm a super competitive person. You know, I have, you know, friends, family, training partners. So when you lose, you kind of feel like you didn't just let yourself down, you let everyone else down. You know what I mean? But I didn't let it stop me, man. And mind you, I just want to just go on record that I had my first MMA fight before I'd even done a grappling tournament. I hadn't done anything. I mean, I've grappled people before and sparred before, but I'd never like done a naga or a nubri.
Right.
And that's usually what a coach.
That's a standard.
That's usually what a coach tells you, like, hey, go break the ice here, go compete, do jujitsu, blah blah blah, whatever. But I had never done that. And then I took my second MMA fight. And I won. I choked a guy out. Second round, I was same guy. Not same guy. I don't remember this guy's name. It was extra sweet because the guy was fighting out of FFA, Freestyle Fighting Academy, and it's one of the first places that I started to train at. And no offense to the gym itself, but I feel like they charge way too much, and they're more of like a let me just kind of sell the guy instead of it's not like my coach Enrico Coco, who's like super humble and is really trying to teach you. They're more like trying to just get you in the door and like get the money. Mind you, they got good fighters and a good fight team, so I got nothing against them. But while I was training there, and mind you, I was paying like $200 a month, I had an injury with a knee injury, and I tried to like cancel or pause my membership, and they wouldn't let me do it. They're like, oh, you got to call corporate or this and that. I was literally like in the gym, like on crutches. I'm like, but I'm here. What do you mean I gotta call? I gotta call corporate? You guys got a corporate? Like I'm right in front of you. So I ended up like losing I got charged like 3 months, like $600, you know? So I was like really pissed about that. So when I found out I was fighting a guy from FFA, I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking whoop this guy.
I'm gonna let this one out, boy. I'm gonna earn my 600.
Yeah, exactly. So that fight went really well for me. Like the guy took me down at first. I was able to get back up in the first round, and he actually hit me with a big shot, but honestly, he hit like a bitch, and I just took it. I went like Nick Diaz on his ass, bro, and I was just like dunk, 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 dunk.
Stockton, motherfucker.
He flew back, bam, bam, bam. Like I was about to get the finish on the feet. He got saved by the bell first round, and then the second round we came out, same thing, came out pretty strong. Hit him with a big body shot. I could tell because I fucking felt the impact, but then he like gave that like, oh, and he turned his back, and I just jumped on his back, choked him out, and I had that moment that everyone wants. And this was the best part was this is the only fight my mom has ever been to. The only fight. So my mom came to my second MMA fight. Whoever was my girlfriend at the time was there. A bunch of my friends were there and shit. So I had that whole jump on the cage moment. Fucking I'm the man. Like it was, and that's a dig. Let me tell you, there's no feeling like it. Any fighter will tell you the same thing. You can't buy that feeling. There's no drug that's like it, or at least no drug that I've taken at least. So
I like the disclaimer.
It's just, you know, there's a certain just like adrenaline of achievement and so much like you just feel. I don't even know how to explain it.
I heard it's a very emotional.
It's almost
moment.
surreal, man. It's crazy, and you know, it was really amazing. And after that, I was basically hooked, and I've been fighting ever since. I've done you know, MMA. I've done amateur boxing. Obviously the Muay Thai. I got the two belts in 2 different weight classes in Muay Thai. So I just kept with it. I think I got like 15 fights total. I've almost lost track at this point. 15 fights total. Record is like 10-5, something like that, between all 3 sports. You know, I'm happy with how far I've come, and that's why when you had asked me, oh, do I regret or why was it the best when I quit the Marriott, the best decision I've ever made in my life? Because it led me to fighting. And I got to experience all that, and obviously still sitting here next to you.
Hey, do you have a preference as far as the different
Martial arts that you practice?
Yeah, I mean, Muay Thai definitely grew on me the most. I love jiu-jitsu. I really, really do. It's just the training of jiu-jitsu, which I know both of you guys have done. It's it's really, but all of them are really hard. But since jiu-jitsu is a little bit slower and you really need to really kind of drill the technique like 50,000 times in a row, and sometimes that technique will require you having your like face in someone's balls like
for hours.
Yeah, for hours. Yeah, or getting sweat on your face and da-da-da. It just like, again, like I still am going to continue jiu-jitsu. Like one of my goals is to get my purple belt at one point, but I more enjoyed the striking aspect of it, which is why I went into Muay Thai and amateur boxing, and I focused more on that because I just prefer to punch and kick people in the face. Don't get me wrong, I love to choke someone out, but I don't like when someone tries to wrestle me down to the ground. I'd rather us stand and strike, and then whatever, like, you know, if a fight goes down to the ground, it is what it is, but I always prefer to keep the fight
let's sit
standing
here
on
and
the
tee
feet.
off.
Yeah, exactly. Let me kick you. You try to punch me. I'm gonna knee you. Whatever.
Don't kick me. Don't kick me.
But still, like, you know, jiu-jitsu is amazing. I love jiu-jitsu, but it's just as a Muay Thai was just kind of more for my personality, I guess. That's kind of a better way to put it. Like,
we were touching up on relationships earlier on. Why don't you tell me the role, if any, that a relationship has during a fight prep? Is it more of a pain in the ass that you have someone that's, oh, maybe don't get hurt, or is it motivational to have a female figure that's like, I'm there for you?
Yeah, well, I guess that's gonna depend on the female figure. So,
Right.
you know, I've had girlfriends that weren't as supportive, that were kind of just like, all right, like, good luck, you know,
Yeah, go
like,
do your hobby.
Not really
do
giving a
it.
fuck?
Like, not really give a fuck. They're more like concerned about their own thing. They're like, yeah, like, good for you, but like, whatever.
Yeah, I got to get back to work, so see you after.
This OnlyFans isn't gonna work
And
itself.
like, there's other girls that are really, really supportive. Like, you know, my girlfriend now she supports me through anything, but you know, when you have someone like that is supportive over something that's really, really important to you, it can help a lot. But then again, if you have someone that is more kind of into their own thing and they're just kind of like, yeah, they're like cool, or then I've never had one, but I know people who have had girls that are like very detrimental, that they're like, you know, like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, you should do that.
Yeah, just
like,
adding stress.
Yeah, like adding stress, and it's like, yo, like shut the fuck up. I don't tell you what to do. Like, don't tell me what to do.
Do you try to kind of like keep your space for the last week or the 2 weeks
Yeah,
before?
usually like the last week, especially when I'm cutting weight, I'm just like, hey, like, you should probably not talk to me.
Yeah, just
Like, you're
'cause
gonna be offended.
I'm edgy, bro. Leave me alone.
Like,
Yeah.
I just want to let you know.
Haven't
like,
eaten in
I'm gonna be
32
a-
hours. Leave me the fuck
I'm
alone.
gonna be a dick this whole week. But yeah, so no, but like, you know what I mean? My girlfriend now, Natalie, we were like talking when I had my last fight. My last fight was September 2019, actually. Very sad to say that I was not able to fight in 2020. Fuck you, COVID. You know, so we were talking at the time. We weren't officially dating, and she was really supportive. She was like, hey, like, you know, texting me before and text me after and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you want someone that's gonna, you know, push you a little bit and give you that support. And, you know, if you have someone that's holding you back, all I can say is, you know, find a new girl, because like, you know, you need someone
Or guy.
You need or guy. Exactly.
2020.
Yeah, exactly. You need someone to lift you up and not bring you down. You know, that's really, really important. So,
Do you foresee yourself fighting this coming year?
man, so what the whole thing was, this is why I said, I mean, look, I know that obviously the pandemic is the pandemic and whatever. What happened was I was trying to go pro. You know, I've had 15 plus fights, 3 different sports. I was amateur for, you know, basically 5 years. And comes a time where you just got to step up to the next level.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You only need 3 fights in Florida to go pro, actually. And
Really?
3 amateur fights and you can go pro. I don't know if they've changed it, but that was the rule back then. And then you can go other places. You can fucking go to Texas right now and fight pro your first time if you want. I mean, you got to be qualified, but you know, different promotions and different leagues have different standards. Exactly. Some promoters will get fucking the garbage man off the street just to throw him in there and have him fight someone. And
Shout out Eddie Hearn.
But But yeah, so what was that? Well, I had a fight set up it was going to be May 2nd. And I was going to be fighting for my 3rd belt. Actually, no, it would have been I had 2 belts already. I had fought for 3. I lost one of them against a really talented guy out of Tigre. I think you were at that fight. Yeah, PFL. I lost that fight against a real tough guy, undefeated guy, beat me fair and square. So combat night, Mitchell, a great guy. I got to give a shout out to him. He, really gives a lot of fighters the opportunity and that platform to step up and showcase your skills, which will lead you to becoming pro, obviously, if that's your goal. So he was like, look, I want you to fight for my 145-pound kickboxing Muay Thai belt. You're going to fight this guy, Ryan Schwartzberger, who I know, and we already fought, we had each other on Instagram. We've been on the same card before. And I was like, bro, I'll fucking mop that kid. He's like, you know what?
Shout out Ryan.
He's like, no, hey, Ryan's a super good guy, bro. And he's a tough guy. First off, real tough guy. And first off, you always say, I'll mop.
You gotta have that attitude.
You gotta have that attitude. You're not gonna be like, oh shit, I don't know if I want to fight that guy. You know what I mean? But I just felt like I was I was definitely technically better than him and more experienced. And he's more of an MMA fighter that does also compete in Muay Thai.
Okay.
I consider myself a Muay Thai fighter, you know what I mean? Even though I've done MMA and boxing. So we had that fight, we agreed on it. He was like, he's like, if you go in, mop them, great, get your 3rd belt. And he's like, listen, win, lose, or draw, I guarantee you a pro contract. You'll fight pro for combat night.
Oh shit.
That'll be your first pro fight. And I was like, perfect, let's do it. You know what I mean? Sign me up. You know what I mean? It's perfect. I get another belt to add to my collection. You know what I mean? And I get to go pro after. And then, so if that was May 2nd, when did the COVID happen? Like February?
End of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, so
March 5th, March 15th, around there.
Around there, they started they were like shut down or whatever, and then they, that's when they started canceling events, and ours got canceled. They canceled that combat night and
Canceled, like straight out, no
canceled.
postponing.
No, I mean postponed till 8 months after. I don't know when they even had their next event. They've had events since then, but yeah. So that kind of I don't want to say it discouraged me. Well, first of all, I think being stuck at home and not being able to go out discourages anybody.
Correct.
You can't train. No gyms are open. You know what I mean? So it just sucked in general. And then you got this whole virus that people aren't sure of. Maybe they believe in it. They don't believe in it. I mean, I try to believe in science. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I'm also not I don't know, I'm borderline. I'm kind of on both sides. That's the weird thing about me is people will call me a liberal or some shit, but I'm in the process of trying to join the National Guard. I fight, you know what I mean? I support the police. I support the military.
Very liberal of you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm such a liberal, such a libtard. You know what I mean?
Snowflake.
Yeah, I'm such a pussy snowflake. I mean, people tell me that shit. But yeah, so I just kind of first off, I'm 31 years old now. At that time, I was 30 years old. So I'm not like most guys. I'm not like Alex or Justin I'm naming all fight club guys.
Shout out.
Shout out to the homies that are, they're in their young 20s. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Right.
So, I have, a little bit more responsibilities as an adult, and as, I gotta work. I gotta, support myself. I gotta pay bills and shit. So I'm not saying that those guys don't. But it's
a different headspace.
It's a different headspace, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I had to focus more on, just I wasn't teaching any more classes. And so I was like, I really got to focus on personal training. So I was, I have some good clients right now that are pretty consistent, and that's how I make the base of my money. But I mean, before COVID, I was teaching maybe 12 to 14 classes a week.
Wow.
Anywhere from
Pack schedule.
Anywhere from 40. Dude, sometimes I was teaching 4 classes a day at Fight Club.
Always moving around. Always.
With 2 or 3 clients in between. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And so I went from that to now I teach maybe 7 or 8 classes a week, and my clients are really what keep me afloat and stuff. That $1,200 stimulus check didn't go very far.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that second one, by the way.
Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? Ladies and gentlemen, every single week, we have...
Actually, that's Alex here, right?
That's Alex, yeah.
That is Alex.
Yeah.
Shout out
Awesome.
Alex
Shout
Martinez.
out
He just won his
Shout out
fight.
Alex Martinez. Sorry. Every single week we have two segments. Diego's already damn near about to cue the first one. What's the first one, Diego? What's the first one? Ladies and gentlemen, we have two segments. One of those is the movie review of the week. And we bring you a new media, some sort of film, some sort of television show that you can catch that has inspired our guests one way or another. Maybe inspired, maybe brought some comedy, whatever it is that they are seeking for at that time. And Nick, why don't you, give us the honor of suggesting a film, a television series, hopefully, 5 stars out of 5, make that editing mad easy, that you cannot live without.
A movie or television series?
Whichever you prefer.
Let's go. Damn, movies. It would take me too long to decide the movie, probably. So I'll go with a really good television series. Well, it's not television; it's HBO. First off, so I think one of
It is though.
it really is. HBO is a different beast. I mean, that's why you got to pay separate for it. So, one of the best HBO shows that I have ever seen was True Detective season 1, not season 2.
Never saw it.
Please don't see season 2.
Season 2.
Jump off a bridge before you see season 2.
That bad?
It's horrible.
Which one is season 2? That's
The one with Vince Vaughn, and it's
yeah.
it's
How many
awful.
seasons
Colin
are there
Farrell.
altogether?
There's 3 total. The first one was extremely successful with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
Fuck yeah, dude. You know what? Fuck the Longhorns. Fuck the Longhorns, but Matthew McConaughey, I'll wear fucking burnt orange for you, bro.
So I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Fantastic.
You've seen True Detective
Fucking
season 1.
fantastic.
It was one of the best shows. It's just really, it's not based on a true story specifically, but that type of shit goes down. Like,
Oh
that is
yeah,
definite
yeah.
truth.
Especially in fucking Louisiana.
And-
What type
Exactly.
of shit? What is it, like corruption? What is it?
Corrupt. So it's basically like
multi-level,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
It's
multi-level.
wild.
It's deep. It's deep as shit, man. But it starts off where McConaughey is like this. He's a state police detective, right? They're both state police detectives.
but like a washout.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was big at one point, but now
he got he got transferred
Yeah.
to like Louisiana.
No one wants to work with
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
Effie Bailey.
Yeah, exactly. And so they find like this dead chick, but it's like weird because she's got like antlers on her body, so it's like some weird
Like some ritual
satanic
thing.
ritual shit, and it's just like they start to dive deeper in that, and then it goes into the corruption of like like the police force is kind of I don't want to spoil.
Yeah,
no
please
spoiler
don't,
alert.
please
It's
don't.
But
very, very
it's
good.
very, very deep. It's I honestly watched the first season in probably like maybe 2 or 3 days. I could not
yeah,
stop
shit.
watching.
Ate it
It's
up, too.
that good.
It's very
and they're long episodes too. I mean, it's HBO, so it's an hour an episode.
So True Detective, how many stars out of 5?
5 out of 5.
I love it. I love it.
It really is good.
True Detective, 5 out of 5.
Season
stars.
1.
Season
season
1.
Season 2 is trash. Season 3 is good. Also, season 3 I'll give it about 4.5 stars. That one came out like a year or 2 years
I
ago.
watched season 2 and I was like, all right, whatever, I guess. But because of that season, I didn't watch 3.
Season 3 is much
Yeah?
better. It's more like season 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd give
have
it
to
like
give it a
4.5 stars.
I'll have to go to look then.
But
Because
season
1 was fucking...
1 was amazing.
I mean,
One-
it's Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
And they just...
And by the way, I had no idea that Matthew McConaughey was so loaded as much as he is until Emmy
Oh, yeah, dude.
kind of like
That's old
enlightened
money,
me.
baby.
He has a dick
on,
ton of
man.
money. But I thought he made his money from acting, but
he's got wild turkey money, man.
Yeah, dude. He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Where was it that his family?
Oil money.
I'm sorry,
Oil money.
oil money.
Yeah, he's got wild turkey money. He's got Lincoln money. He's got movie
Hell
money.
yeah, bro. And I'm going to be honest, those commercials are the shit. When he just sits there just
He's just
Yeah.
like,
He's just
saying
like
random shit into the distance. It's
yeah, it's
awesome.
the most random commercial. He's just like,
Armadillos.
and then it's like, buy a Lincoln.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, 30 stacks is interesting.
oh my god. Nick, lately you've also kind of been dabbling into the art the world of, would you say, I guess, professional or astute sports gambling. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Sports gambling. Oh, we call that. First off, guys, that's not for everybody.
Yeah, if you have a problem, call 1-800.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start with that. What's the number?
I don't know, but Google it.
Yeah, 1-800 addict.
I don't know the number, but you can Google it.
Yeah, 1-800 roll the dice, some shit like that.
Something like we'll Google it and find out.
We'll find it. If you have a problem, that's our preface.
Yeah, exactly.
1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah,
there you go.
Just to keep us all safe. That's your first thing.
Yeah.
And that's 522-4700. Give him a call, guys.
Give him a call.
Their number's blowing up right now. Yo, so what happened was I was is during COVID and I
got the number.
I know, I just said it.
Oh, 662 help.
That's another one.
another
There's two
one.
numbers.
There's two.
If the
So
first
the
one
first
doesn't
one's
pick up,
busy.
just jump on the second one.
someone's like, it's not working. So it was probably like March-ish, maybe like April into COVID. And I was fucking bored out of my mind. I wasn't working. I was like, what the fuck can I do?
There's nothing to watch. You gotta watch.
I was no sports on. I'm like, I need to do something and I would like to make money somehow. And I found this guy, or I found this page basically on Instagram. This guy, Diamond Action. I'll tell you guys, if you're looking,
They're always in my DMs.
if you're looking for someone to, there's two people that I specifically really, really trust. That's at Diamond Action and at Prime Time Betting. Both those guys, they're not cheap, by the way. You have to pay for their services, obviously. But these guys are professional. We call them handicappers. That's the name of.
Okay.
I don't know how that name came up really, but
I'm sure there's a wheelchair
like
there
Martha
somewhere.
Stewart with an insider tip.
we just say cappers. We just say, oh, you're a capper, whatever. But basically, this guy was like, he was like, oh, I forget the amount of money it was for like $100. Like I'll give you picks for a month for KBO. That's the Korean Baseball Organization.
What the fuck?
Bro,
I didn't even.
I'm on that shit every day.
I didn't even know what the fuck what that was. I don't even like baseball, for the record. But I was just like, all right, man. Like he's like, I'm like, I put like, I don't know, like maybe like I put like a $250 deposit into an account, and he would just send me the picks. And the picks were always the games were at like 4, 5, or 6 a.m. obviously because it's in Korea time. So he would send me the picks, I would put them in, and then I would just wake up the next morning and see whether they won or lost. And he would always text you also like, oh, cash the Doosan Bears or cash the Samsung Monkeys or some shit. I don't know.
Hell yeah, bro. Samsung monkeys are fucking killing it.
And I was like, he did really well. I remember the first 2 weeks. It's like I feel like you're either like, guys are either on like a super hot streak or cold streak or kind of in between, like winners or losers. But I was like, damn, I was like, holy shit, like I'm making money off this shit. I was only betting like maybe like $25, $50 a game or something. But yeah, you never, first off, again, you never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. So that's like, let me tell you like the couple most important things for people that are watching this and are considering it. When you want to get into betting on sports, you have to have a job, a source of income. You have to be somewhat responsible. You can't be like a drug addict or an alcoholic or anything like that.
Diego.
And you
Lies.
Look at his creepy ass face, bro. What the fuck?
Lies.
you have to have what's called a bankroll, and your bankroll is separate than your actual like stuff that you pay for your car bills, your car
disposable
insurance,
income.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So I had some money on the side that I was saved. I was like, okay, I can afford to. If I lost this $250 betting, it is what it is. Like
I'm still gonna have a roof over my head.
Exactly. I'm not gonna go broke. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I did pretty well with him, and then the UFC came back, and I've always considered myself good at picking UFC cards because I'm a fighter, and I research the fighters. I've seen them fight before, so I started to pick myself, like just pick UFC cards myself. I didn't need his advice.
Right.
He does pick very good for UFC also. So sometimes what we would do is I would send him my picks, and then he would send me his picks that people would pay for. And then we would just kind of compare and contrast. Sometimes we'd agree, sometimes we wouldn't. It is what it is. But At one point I had a bankroll of, I had like $5,000 in my account. I was
Starting off 250.
Yeah, I was able. Starting off 250. I think that went up and then down, and then I had like 50-ish in. I had a couple bad losses, and then I put like another $100 in, and from that 150, I got it up to 1,000. Wow. And then I started betting more, and then I hit one big parlay or a couple big parlays in a row. If you guys don't know what a parlay is when you pick multiple teams and the payout is like 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. Juan knows. I send him my picks. The other one I hit the other day, I had two different parlays. It was $32, and I cashed out $930.
I saw that shit.
Yeah.
That shit was insane, bro. They'll send me screenshots. Oh, $5 here, $10 here, boom, $20,000. Like, crazy.
That's the thing. For when you're putting together a 9 or 10 team parlay, it's hard to pick one or two of them right. If you get 10 right, that's why the payout is so good. But that's why I'm only putting 10 or $8 or $12 down, because you're not going to put, unless you can afford it. I wish. It's when that parlay hits that you're like, fuck, I should have put $100 on that shit.
Yeah, right?
Damn, what would that payout been? Oh my God, $20,000 or whatever. But,
shout out Iceland beating England a couple years ago, made mad money on that.
Yeah, so, now I do it more as like a hobby. It's not something I take as like a profession or as something that like I base how I make my income out of. There are people that do that.
Which is wild.
It is wild to me. I think it's too stressful. That's what I realized at one point. I was betting like 3 or 5 times a day. And then sometimes when you're losing, you'll end up chasing. And then like we call them units. So a unit is supposed to be 5% of your bankroll. So if you got $1,000 in your bankroll, you're usually betting $50 per unit. And then depending on how confident you are, you put 1 to 4 to however many units you want. That's how like basic cappers will break it down. So now I basically, it's like a for fun thing. And yeah, I get to make some money off of it, which is cool. But like anyone else, I've lost too. I put $1,000 on Jorge Masvidal when he fought Kamaru Usman. I still profited that night, for the record.
Oh, okay. There's no such thing as a sure thing. That's what they say.
That was the most money I've ever bet on anything, actually. And he was like a 2+2 something underdog. So if I had won, the payout was like $2,200 or something like that. Right. But that fight, he lost. I lost that bet, but the rest of the card I had done really well on. So I was still able to profit a pretty good amount. I put 500 on Danny.
Fuck,
thank you, Danny.
Bro. Hey, I'm putting like 20 bands on Danny next time, bro.
They had Danny as an underdog. Like they didn't know who he was. He was like plus 155, so it was like 500 to collect $655. So nice. I told him right when he got back, I was like, yo, let me take you out to lunch or something.
Hell yeah, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Hell yeah, bro, for real. Just don't let the UFC know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But there's just guys that like, again, since I either know them personally, like Danny, or I know of them personally. I'll give you an example, like Miguel Baeza. He fought recently, like me.
10-0 right now.
If I had 10 G's comfortably to throw on him, I would have. You know,
for real?
I mean? If I could have, that's how confident I was in him. And he won, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that I think it is fun. You know, it is fun. Gambling is something that people have been doing forever. The Indians obviously gambled. Al Capone, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people.
It's always been around.
It's always been around. Like, it's just something, and it will always be around. Mm-hmm. And now it's becoming more accepted, and the fact that, like, before, like, you wouldn't see, like now you'll see but at like a soccer stadium, like instead, like they still have to say no to racism, but then after it'll be like bet365.com.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Now they're like all for it. They're like, they're all about it. Sports betting is a multi-billion dollar industry. And it's it comes down to this. Money won is a lot sweeter than money earned. It's just a fact. It really is. It's great to earn money. I love earning money, but when you win money, it just feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just another certain feeling, and that's obviously the problem that people get, that they get addicted, and they either don't know how to control their bankroll, or they put too much, or I don't know. You know, it's gambling is a problem for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you try to ride the high.
exactly. I wouldn't recommend it to someone who is not financially stable. You know, you have to, again, have a bankroll. You have to be a little educated, and obviously, try to have a niche. So my niche is UFC and soccer. So when I put together those big parlays, I usually put together like a couple fights, and a couple soccer.
I will say I've seen this man bet on Barcelona, so you know
That is
there's
true. That parlay I hit, I put Barcelona because that's what you got. And I didn't bet on Real Madrid, and Real Madrid lost that game. That game.
This
and
man
you know
doesn't
why?
bet with his emotions.
Because you can't bet with your heart. You can't bet with you can't be like, oh, well, I got to bet with the team I like. You know what I mean? You have to really study. Like me, I don't just like look and like, okay, I'm gonna bet Barcelona. I looked at who Barcelona was playing. I found who they was playing. I looked at the last 4 outcomes of the game, the last 4 times they played or whatever. And I do my studying before. So if anyone's gonna get into this, make sure you
have to dedicate time.
You have to dedicate time, and you have to know about sports. You know what I mean? So if you love NFL and you've been predicting NFL games, right? Then shit, maybe you should give it a try. I saw there's a really funny page actually you guys should follow. It's just funny because it shows what real big bettors put on, and I think it's called Action Q Network or something like that. You can find them on Instagram. And I saw one a couple days ago. Oh, actually, I saw one. Is it yesterday? Yeah. A big better at MGM, $110,000 on UM to win $100,000. That bet never had a chance.
That man needed somebody with sense next to him.
Yeah,
Because shout out to you, but
They're not doing too good right now.
but then again, so
they are, but they haven't had real competition.
so you got to. So if a guy's putting on $110,000 on a game, you got to imagine this guy's got millions of dollars.
Oh,
in his
yeah,
bank
like
account.
he's chilling.
If you can feel comfortable losing $110,000, you know what I mean? That's what it is. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you have to.
So,
You have to.
Exactly. So
But the stress, man, because even if you do have, let's say, $100 million in the bank, you still lost.
yeah, exactly. It still sucks to lose.
$100,000.
It's still losing. Exactly.
But that's
exactly.
still stressful.
Yeah,
you
of
know?
I don't know
course,
if I'd
that's
watch the game.
I mean,
I
you
actually,
have to.
let me tell you, I actually prefer, I've done both, and I actually prefer not watching them.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
just go do something else?
I just prefer not to watch and then just look at the score after. Because if not, you're like stressed
Oh
out
my
the
God, it's
entire
a
game
fucking
and
roller
shit.
coaster.
You got anxiety.
What if it's about a team that you personally?
Oh,
like,
that's different. Like if
a
I'm-
Madrid. Like
yeah.
If you bet on a Madrid
Yeah,
game,
that's different. That I'll watch.
Well, that
it.
just adds to the excitement.
Yeah, that
maybe.
just adds to the
like
excitement. Exactly.
I bet for the Heat,
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo.
and the one game I bet we ended up losing to fucking Boston. Fuck the Celtics.
Yeah,
But,
because
like,
it's your fault we lost, by the way.
I'm convinced I didn't bet anymore. Like I stopped. I was like, all right, that's
See,
it.
this guy learned his lesson
I
off
was
the first
like,
time.
yo, I was
He's
like,
I quit.
I didn't bet much, but I was just confident we would sweep. You get me?
Well, listen, if the Heat were a huge underdog, and my boy, who also is, he's been betting longer than I have. He's a little bit more experienced. When basketball came back or whatever, and they made the playoffs, you can do futures. You guys know what a future is you bet on so the playoffs are starting. He took the Heat to win the Eastern Conference Championship. And I think he put like $1,000 on it or so.
And he
That's
made
amazing.
It was like plus 1,200 odds, so he made like $12,000 off that
That's
bet.
amazing.
Wow.
So if you had ridden the Heat during the playoffs, you made bank because the Heat did great until obviously till
So the
finals.
reason why I bet was because one of my buddies listened to me and I was like, "Yo, watch, we're gonna win the first 2 games against the Celtics," and he, without even like hesitating, he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, bro, we're on a streak, and like they've been playing bad."
There's no such thing as a sure thing. Let me tell you that right now.
Oh, but I ended up being correct.
But
So
still,
then that
Yeah,
so
that's-
And then on the
There's
third,
that luck
for the
factor.
first two.
and then
That's
that
that
third
luck
game,
factor,
and
too.
then the third game came, and I'm watching it at a ale house,
yeah.
and I'm just like pissed. Halfway through the game, I grabbed my shit, dropped $20 for whatever the fuck I ordered, and I just left.
Yeah,
I was just like, I'm not trying to watch this with people right now. I'm fucking losing my shit. We were
Morning.
down.
I'm already in morning mode.
We were down by like 20 points at the half, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I saw on that page, Action Q, they'll also share like funny messages that they get, and they got like a DM from some guy, and he's like, hey, I just want to say, I have a question. I've lost the last 25 bets that I put in a row on both NFL and college.
After number 5
on both NFL and college football. He goes, I don't know what the odds are of that, but like he's like,
can I take a bet on that?
He's like, I looked up that if you flip a coin 25 times in a row and like get like heads every time, it's like 1 in like a bazillion chance or some shit.
This is wild, dude. 25 losses in a row.
And then like at the end of his message, he goes, pray for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, every week we have another segment. It's two, and the second one is actually called you fucked up again. The Quest for the Truth, ladies and gentlemen. And what does that mean? That means that I get a card, a random card from this here deck, and I ask our guest said question.
Also, there's 6 minutes left in Q3, and we're down 30-10.
You see what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you fucking did that.
This was a quick one.
My fault. How is that my fault?
Motherfucker.
This was a quick
It's always your fault, dude.
What's the over/under on that game? Anyone know?
I mean,
No, I don't have any bets in today.
Yeah,
I'm just
Kansas
fucking-
City was definitely favored. I mean, it's
Of course.
Kansas City.
Of course.
We'll start with Nick. If you could arm wrestle any historical figure, who would you choose and why?
I could arm wrestle. You know what? I can get one right now. I would arm wrestle Abraham Lincoln.
Hey,
Bro, tell me why that was one of my
You don't like what he stood for?
One of my 3.
Honest Abe.
You don't like what he stood for, bro? Damn.
No, I'll tell you why. He's a big dude and he wrestled. So I want a challenge. You know what I mean?
Wait, Abe wrestled?
Abe wrestled, yeah,
Oh,
man. He was a wrestler,
shit.
dude.
I didn't
He
know.
was a big ass dude.
He's a
What was
lumberjack, bro.
D1?
He was a
lumberjack.
big ass
he was a
dude,
big
bro.
guy.
He was big, man.
Okay, and the reason why, I guess, like,
Again, I would want the challenge because he's a big dude, and then after I arm wrestled him, I would kick his ass. No, I would actually after I arm wrestled him, I would ask him to grapple so I could tap him out.
I can imagine Abraham Lincoln doing jiu-jitsu.
He would have been good, actually.
Diego, if you could arm wrestle one historical figure, who would it be and why?
That's tough. Arm wrestle?
Yeah, dude. Like,
You know what arm wrestling is?
Yeah. I'm just.
I know, but the
remember
way you asked it, you seem.
Yeah,
you
remember
you were
Samir?
unaware.
Yeah, it's on TV now. I saw it on like
It
Oh,
is.
dude, they get
Oh,
wild.
they get intense. Oh,
ESPN 8 The O Show.
have you seen the slapping contest that they do?
Yeah, that's
oh,
for-
Oh,
That's
that's
ridiculous.
wild, dude. That's some big
Honestly,
Russians.
I think Seth Rogen is hilarious. And
That's not a historical figure.
Oh, he's not. A,
He will be, I guess, when he dies.
Alright.
You want to
No,
arm
no,
wrestle him?
I just said
I-
Abraham Lincoln. No, you hear what Seth Rogen.
historical figure.
I mean, let him wrestle Seth Rogen, bro. What's the harm in that, you know?
I just
As
wanna
you said
smoke-
historical,
just
so I was like, all right, I can't think of celebrity.
That I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Historic. That's
Put the bottle down, man.
That's
You can do this.
the mind of Diego, where
Yeah.
it would take him to Seth Rogen, though, right?
yeah. Is that I think he's
crazy,
hilarious.
bro.
Is that I my brain works in mysterious ways. Honestly, I don't know, man.
I'd probably arm wrestle like Mussolini, you know?
Oh, dude, I
That's
was
a good
thinking
one.
Gorbachev.
Boy.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Gorbachev, just because you know what, motherfucker, we're taking you down before the wall, baby. Let's go. Shout out Reagan.
Oh,
Hey, he was a teak, by the way. He was in my fraternity, Ronald Reagan.
Oh,
Reagan?
shit.
Yeah, true
Pi
story.
cap, I feel you.
Damn.
Good times, bro.
I had no idea.
Damn Reagan, huh? I feel like partying with that dude must have been fucking wild.
Come on, Diego.
Oh, you bet.
Him and fucking Bill Clinton.
Walt Disney, I guess.
All right.
All
okay.
right.
I don't think he'll put up much of a fight, but neither would Mussolini. He was small. He was
Yeah,
very
they were
small.
I just want to pick their brain. Like the
Yeah, but Mussolini would have you killed.
I mean, you would want
Right,
to you would
for sure.
want
Yeah.
you would want to win. You would want to win depending on who you're
Or
going
maybe,
against.
yeah, maybe let him win. Let
But
him have
wasn't
that
Disney
one.
tall?
I have no idea.
He was pretty tall, but I mean, he was
Or,
tall.
you know,
he
he
was
was-
tall
well,
next
he's
to
taller
me.
than you for
He
sure.
was skinny. He was.
Fuck
He,
you.
I've seen. He was tall and skinny.
Fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start wrapping up, Nick, I wanted to ask, what were some of the fighters or are some of the fighters that you most look up to or looked up to when getting started?
Well, let me start with
Seth Rogen.
yeah. Of course.
Clearly, the most historical figure
James
we
Franco?
all know.
Let me start with if he. I would have said him if he had passed away, because when I think historical figure, I think of someone who's passed away. But Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Dude, when we were punking him, I was like, I can't say him. He's still alive.
Yeah.
But 100%.
So
bro.
Jean-Claude,
Just to shake his hand.
If you guys don't know, Jean-Claude Van Damme was more than just an actor. He did compete in kickboxing. He was super legit. Like he did all. That's why you see in Bloodsport and Kickboxer, he's doing all of his own.
Fucks people
all
up.
of his own stunts. So he was the first martial artist. I mean, the first time I watched Bloodsport, I just thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever. I was like, dude, this guy's badass. That's when I was like, hey, I want to start taking kickboxing. I remember I told my dad, I was like, hey, can I do kickboxing classes now?
I wish
Why?
I would've said
I
that
just
shit.
saw Bloodsport.
I saw that shit and I was like, I think he's doing karate. Let's try karate. And then I was like, this is fucking whack.
Yeah.
Let's do something else.
And then when it comes to like kind of more current fighters, I loved Anderson. So I still love Anderson Silva. I thought he's just like in his prime.
His last fight was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, the thing is, that's real. I feel like is the hardest thing to become when you are a fighter. You don't know. A lot of them don't know when to stop,
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't know anything else. They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
It's just all you know how
Because
to do.
mentally, right, he still has a technique. He still knows
Exactly.
what to do.
Like,
But
I'm
his body
surprised-
doesn't follow him anymore.
I'm
Exactly.
surprised by Yoel Romero getting fucking cut by the UFC.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it that somebody's got to do it for you?
Okay, but the fact that Bellator or PFL won't pick him up, like, what the fuck? It's Yoel Romero. Like,
I know, dude, but
I mean, I
just
don't know,
listen,
man.
yeah.
But so when Anderson was in his prime, to me, is the
was
GOAT, the
scary,
greatest of
dude.
all time. There's a couple other kickboxers I can name that I'm not sure you guys will know. Nicky Holskin is one of my favorite fighters. He fights for glory. He's an absolute beast. Sanchai, if you don't know who Sanchai is, he's arguably the greatest Muay Thai practitioner of all time.
do yourself a favor, go on YouTube.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a fight in like 10 years or some shit. He beats everybody.
Golly.
And let me go with one more
I could
guy.
take him.
take him to the fucking airport, maybe. Bro.
I didn't say where.
Fucking-
One more guy who I
Seth
don't
Rogen,
Fade,
bro.
maybe.
No, I'm trying to think of a boxer that I really liked growing up. Oscar De La Hoya. I really liked Oscar De La Hoya growing up.
What do you think of him possibly trying to come back
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Don't do
against
it.
Maidana?
who's
do
he gonna fight?
Maidana.
Who's he gonna fight? Jake Paul?
Shout out Mayweather. Fucking sucks,
Here's the
bro.
thing, though,
I
right?
hope
Like,
Mayweather
No, but
lays him out.
that fight is literally the epitome of why boxing is in a shit show right now.
which
Like
one?
Mayweather, Jake
Oh,
Paul, or what's his brother's?
No,
I don't know.
One of the Pauls. I don't
Yeah,
know.
one of the Pauls.
Listen, before this last fight, I was like, why the fuck are these Paul kids? Why are they even entertaining them? Why are the fighting commissions entertaining this? But
'Cause they sell.
respect.
No, you know what?
I mean, the kid,
I'll tell you
I'm
why.
not gonna
Hey,
say
go-
No, dude.
They trained.
He was fighting.
Look,
He was fighting a basketball. I mean,
right, but that's the
respect.
basketball guy. That's his fucking problem. Robinson didn't train, and you could tell. He walked in thinking, "I'm gonna fuck
was
this
like-
kid up."
That's how
He,
And
he
Paul-
ran into that punch.
Yeah, and Paul was like, "You know what, dude? I've been hustling for the last year and a half, working every day at this. Let's go." My point is, respect that he took it. He took it serious, as seriously as someone like that can.
I showed those. I see them. I mean, I don't see them training because I don't.
I've seen the clips
I don't,
on
I've seen the clips. I
whatever.
don't follow them on
No.
anything on YouTube or on Instagram or anything like that. But I have seen videos of them training. They're all right, decent. mediocre.
if they fight
maybe.
somebody for real,
Oh no,
they'll
they'll get
fucked
killed.
up.
Yeah,
for
exactly. So
sure.
I think Mayweather's gonna knock him out.
So you
Because they're amateurs.
The first
I mean,
thing you
let's get
said. The
real.
first thing you said was why, and it always comes down to one thing: is money.
Yeah, yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
when they have whatever 10 million YouTube subscribers or whatever it is, that's 10 million people that are potentially going to buy this pay per view or wherever
That
whatever
will.
thing is going to
That
are
will,
going to buy
yeah.
it. And then when you make it entertaining, like they have social media beef, or I don't know who's the first. I don't know who KSI is. I don't know,
he's
The
some British
English dude, the black guy,
YouTuber.
right?
yeah, so like they had beef, and they like had beef on Instagram, and that becomes no public, and then like they decide to box, and like that is going to sell because they have so many followers.
It's funny, KSI won, but Paul still got the Mayweather fight.
Yeah, I see. I don't.
He sells more.
I didn't know.
No, I think they got a draw. I don't think anybody won that fight. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure KSI won.
I think KSI won also. I don't remember.
Well, granted, everybody lost with that fight.
Exactly.
Right? It wasn't that wasn't a good fight.
The viewers lost.
The viewers
wasn't a
lost.
good fight.
Whoever paid for that pay-per-view lost.
But that's what I'm saying. With the respect that they deserve, because they're not just like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTube guy that's just trying to make money. They also trained. I mean, compared to everybody else that does this shit, I actually see effort.
Well,
which
they
I can
train
respect.
they train way more than Nate
No,
Robinson.
because they're amateur fights, right?
Well-
no one really believes that they're pros, right?
No, well, they are professional
Because they're
fights
making
because
money.
they're getting paid.
Correct.
So that's when it comes into kind of this, not borderline for me, but any fighter like myself who's trying to go pro and has
It is
put
insulting.
years of work in, and has. I got 15 fights, 3 different sports, 2 belts, and I got a YouTuber going pro before me.
Yeah,
And
that is
making-
Mayweather?
that's insulting to me.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's just insulting to me. I think it's insulting to the sport of
It
boxing.
is.
Yep.
It's humiliating for the sport.
So that's my issue with that. Like, is it people are like, oh, so how do you feel about it? I'm kind of like, yes, it's insulting, but at the same time, like, I don't beat myself up about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, we're in this day and age that, I mean,
That sells.
nothing would surprise me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that should.
I will say this though, like their fights are less insulting to me than the Mayweather, than the Tyson fight.
I didn't watch that fight, actually.
Dude, what the fuck?
Did
Well,
you
you
watch-
watched it?
No, of course not, dude.
You gotta watch it, man.
No, because that wasn't a real fight.
Nah,
With the
man.
rules, that they leaked the rules beforehand, which guaranteed I wasn't gonna fight it.
I saw the rules too. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. That's
Okay,
not a
but
fight.
no, but you're not gonna be, you're never going to be able to dictate if someone can or can't be knocked out. If the button gets
you can.
pressed,
They agreed to it.
Yeah. they
right.
did
But if the
agree to it.
button gets pressed, it gets pressed.
No, not at that age. They weren't gonna. do
Not
that,
at
bro.
that age and that experience.
Yeah, dude,
they know how to.
fucking fighters
There comes
for
a point
decades.
you know how to basically pull punches,
Which is
You know
what they
I mean?
did the entire fight.
And-
I saw the highlights. It was 2 minutes, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I expected."
You can't
This
tell me
bullshit.
Tyson wasn't moving. Like, dude,
Yeah,
his
he was
movement
moving.
He was impressive
He was
for
moving
his
and
age,
throwing
but-
punches, but like you know what I mean. As was Roy. I didn't watch the fight. I only saw some
just saw
highlights.
highlights, yeah.
But again, when 2 guys agree to an exhibition and they have the experience that those guys do, and they agree not to knock each other
They're
out,
walking out
they're
fine.
not going to knock each other out. Like
Really was a sparring match.
it was like a
It was,
glorified sparring.
You know,
sparring
like
match.
what that to me was more insulting because at least with these Paul fights, the way that I'm trying to see the good in it is, it's bringing new fans into boxing, which brings
Yeah.
more money in, which allows. Maybe they can regulate it a little better. You know, maybe we can cut the 15,000 different organizations that there are belts for. We can cut them down to maybe 5. You know, because that's another issue, bro. Because you win a belt in this organization, you come to a different organization where it's a real organization, you're a fucking scrub.
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly,
you know,
man.
that's why I think it's good. It's annoying, right? Because you really should be fighting amateur. When you watch them fight, they're not great fighters. They should be amateurs, right? They shouldn't be allowed
I
to fight
mean,
at
Nate
pro.
Robinson wouldn't even be considered an amateur.
No, not
like
at
that.
all. That guy
Right.
shouldn't
That
even
was
be
like a
sparring.
beginner.
A bar fight,
He
yeah.
shouldn't even be fucking
Straight
sparring.
up, straight up.
Yeah, if he didn't have a name, he wouldn't be allowed to spar in a gym.
To me, there's there's levels to anything, but when it comes to martial arts, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, there's novice, beginner, intermediate, advanced, professional.
Yeah, like
You
they
know what
say,
I mean?
you don't play boxing. You don't play
So,
boxing.
Yeah, it's not a game.
So, like to me, Nate Robinson would be considered novice. That's like the step. That's a guy who steps in me coaching
White belt.
coaching the guys at the gym the other day who were sparring
Nah,
for
he has to earn his
who
white
were
belt
sparring
still.
for
Right.
the first time. Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't even have his white belt
No,
yet.
no.
So yeah, man, it's a kind of thin line. Yeah, it brings new fans in, but what kind of fans are we bringing in now? You know what I mean?
The UFC had to do the same shit, bro.
Yeah,
Like
I
they're
get
like
it.
the way
I
that
mean,
they do their press interviews now. I'm like, dude, this shit wasn't the
Yeah.
same 5 years ago. What is this bullshit? WWE.
it's turning more into a WWE type.
I mean, the fights are still legit, right?
fights
When
are
they're
still
fighting
real.
it,
Yeah.
they're still real fights. We're not
course.
fucking around yet, but you know, it transforms a little.
Speaking of the UFC, before we wrap up, last question of the night. Dustin Poirier Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Who do you have? Who do you got, and why?
Is that fight official?
Yeah, January 27th.
I think
Really?
was it last week or
That's
the week
not-
before? I think right. It finally
That's not like
came
a
out.
fake poster
No.
or like anything.
Last night on the UFC, they showed it.
MMA, right?
Yeah.
Nate Robinson came out saying he was going to officiate.
Knockouts allowed? Yeah.
I just want to make sure. Again, we're in 2020 is
headgear.
2020
It's
is not over yet. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. I just want to make sure I'm on the right.
It's official. It's official.
That's a really good fight.
Obviously, the second one.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they have fought before. McGregor beat him.
Yeah.
Did McGregor he TKO'd him or?
TKO'd, yeah. I guess it was kind of ground and pound.
And when was the last time Poirier fought? I don't
This
know.
year.
He fought this year and he won.
Mm-hmm.
He won,
Yes,
right?
He did.
I think
I can't remember who he beat.
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, he won.
I think I bet money on him, and yeah.
Actually, he has a fight of the year candidate.
It's hard, man. Did you guys see that fight
last night? Oh my god, it was fucking
He was
brutal.
telling me it was
That was
wild.
one of the best fights I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life. Anyways, that's like kind of hard. I would say Connor, but I don't know what Connor's been doing or
That's
Whiskey.
the issue with Connor.
But I know that Connor is a real fighter, even though people
He's
can
very
say
gimmicky,
whatever,
yeah.
gimmicky. He knows how to sell himself. He is a great fighter. Real strong hands. Is it at 145 or 155?
I believe 155.
If it's at 155, I'll take McGregor
Yeah?
by TKO. Second
Really?
round.
Oh shit!
That's a
you
bold
just kept adding
prediction.
to it, right?
Yeah. I'm Bond. James Bond.
Damn, if that hits now, shit.
Hey, he's like, fuck.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna need to see a little bit of the training camp.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what happens sometimes. Connor, I mean, he needs to be there with the headspace.
Yeah, exactly. So like, if Connor dedicates himself, and he does,
He can come out hard.
Yeah, he's a great fighter. So there's this. This is not my thing with Connor. Connor's awesome, but I think he's made so. Not I think he's made so much money at this point. I feel like there comes a point where it's like he's not fighting for the money, obviously, because he doesn't need the money.
Right.
So then he's got to be fighting because he really wants to, his last fight was against Floyd Mayweather, right? Which was a loss.
No, his last fight.
No, he came back after that.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Oh yeah, I forgot he beat Cowboy. So then that was an
The
easy.
shoulder, 42nd full.
That was an easy fight. I knew he was going to destroy Cowboy. And I love Cowboy.
I love
Cerrone.
Cowboy, too.
Cowboy's one of my favorite fighters, but they're just
It was such a disappointing fight.
yeah,
It
not a
was.
Yeah.
Cowboy. If he had fought Cowboy in his prime, that would have been a different
been a
story.
brawl.
Exactly, a brawl. But he was fighting Cowboy at the end of his career.
Yeah. He's on the downslope.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I'll take McGregor by TKO, and I will go with a second round TKO.
I mean, who you got?
I mean, as everything lies right now, probably the Diamond, just because he's had more. But the thing is, that could also be bad for him. He's had more serious consecutive competition where he's had to go all out and prove himself every time he's come out. But I mean, that could get tiring after a while too. So, and again, if McGregor's really training, if he's there with the headspace, I mean, he could come out hard, which will be, I mean, it'll be interesting. But I'll probably put Diamond right now.
I got the Diamond.
Yeah.
I got Diamond. Fourth round.
You think he's gonna sub him? You think he's gonna finish him?
Yeah.
Oh no, I have them.
You don't
in
have to.
decision for
You don't have
real.
to say TKO or submission, but you think he's
I
gonna
think
finish him?
Fourth round. Diego, who you got?
I like McGregor. I like the fact that he talks hella shit.
Of course.
I don't really watch fighting, so that's why I answered this. That way.
Okay, well,
I'll drag him. I'll tell you that. I'll drag him to the motherfucking
well,
fight.
McGregor has got that.
He's probably favorite.
He's got that one punch
yeah.
power. Oh, he'll
does.
definitely be the favorite. But you got to remember, I mean, the guy slept Jose Aldo in
Right.
15 seconds. Jose Aldo was one of my favorite fighters also. So he's got a different kind of power, and especially at 155. So Diamond, I mean, Diamond is no joke. He got a lot of respect for the guy. He's
got hard hands.
He's got hard hands and a hard chin too. But I just think Connor is a little bit more precise in his punches, his accuracy. Yeah.
I think if Connor wins, it's on the ground. I think Conor could take. I think Conor could
interesting.
take Diamond on the ground.
So what? That's my predictions. I think Conor drops him and then pop finishes him on the
Yeah,
ground.
I think
Because
so.
you know when Conor drops you, he'll swarm on you.
he'll tee off.
He'll start teeing off,
yeah.
and those shots hurt. He's got a lot of
Yeah.
power in those hands, and we'll see. It's
I
going to be a
think
great
should-
fight.
Yeah, I think it has potential to be.
It'll be much
fucking
better than the
brawl.
Cowboy fight. I
Oh
guarantee
yeah,
that.
most definitely.
You can only hope, right?
I hope so. Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had an episode of colossal proportions. We had a multiple two-time champ in Nick Plessett coming to the set today, ladies
In
and
two
gentlemen.
different weight classes, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I was about to
Yeah,
correct him.
that's
I was like,
important.
I gotta throw
Yeah,
that
yeah.
two
Throw
weight
it
class in.
Yeah, you gotta
that's
fucking
important right
flex
there,
on
dude.
them, flex on them, baby. 2 different weight classes. Can we please give it up for Nick coming on the studio today? Nick, if the people, if they want to, follow you, if they want to follow your journey, see how you, get ready for a fight or train people, whatever it is that you are doing at the time, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. I am at It's Me Nick P. That's actually been my Instagram since when I first had Instagram.
We had a guest. His Instagram handle was Pal Driving, so you're good.
So I just think I think
Joey.
it's easy and catchy. It's me, Nick P. If you can't
Bars.
spell that out, then you're probably.
I mean, you see it on
Probably
the
shouldn't
screen,
follow.
baby. You see it.
Probably shouldn't
You
follow.
see it on the screen. Yeah, if you don't know how to spell that, don't give him a follow.
Hell yeah.
He doesn't want you to
Get
follow him
that.
anyways.
You do weight training as well. You do what's it called? Just fucking blanked.
Fitness instructor.
Fitness, yeah.
I'm
Fitness training.
I'm a fitness. I'm a group fitness
Yeah.
instructor. I still teach those
Get
classes.
that workout, boys.
Hell yeah.
So I'm at It's Me Nick P. I have a Facebook fan page also.
Hell yeah.
Nick Plessett. I don't use it as much, but I got some likes or something.
Yeah,
Hell
bro, you
yeah.
can
You
get-
looking to fangirl? Let's do
Hell
it.
yeah, bro. You can
Let's
buy
do
a
it.
damn autographed 8x10 headshot right there. You know?
And then obviously my fans only page.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It was
Where
beautiful.
you get them toes. Before and after the fights.
Before and after the fight. Oh my God, that toe cheese. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us today. Every Thursday at midnight, what do? You go on YouTube, you hit that subscribe. You go on Instagram, that follow, that Spotify, that Apple Podcast, that Deezer, and that iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. There you go. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
they had the Jingle Ball thing already. I'm super disappointed
Yo, Jingle Ball.
that you guys didn't invite
Bro,
us.
Where the fuck are the tickets, man?
But whatever.
But we'll get them next year. We ain't salty about it. Ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday at midnight, we have a new guest, a new story, a new climax to tell. You know what I'm talking about. Ladies
Climax, baby.
Climax, baby. That's the word of the day. Shout out
Climax with
Diego.
a Z.
Yeah, with a Z. Oh, hell yeah.
that was perfect.
Bring it in around. Check out Cam Girls with a Z. You know what I'm talking about. And we will see you next Thursday at midnight. Holla.
Peace.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight.